Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and I just want to give you a little update on what's going on now that John George, this case that we've been following, the tragic case of 37-year-old John, who it looks like maybe was, we don't know the full details yet, but possibly lured to Spain to be murdered, maybe. But anyway, whatever the circumstances, he was murdered, unfortunately, in Spain. His family came out to look for him. They were sent on wild goose chases, searching all over the wrong areas. And eventually, luckily, thank God, John was found. At least his body was found, and his family will be able to take John back home to Northern Ireland to bury him with dignity and give him the send off that he deserves and that they want to give him. Now, his family have returned to Northern Ireland, but John is still in Spain, awaiting sort of details of the investigation. It's still not clear exactly when he will be returned home, but at least he will be. At least he's there. They know where he is, and that's some sort of comfort, isn't it? It's a cold comfort. Now, I just wanted to tell you a little update about what's been going on because, of course, now it's all about justice for John. So, John has been found and he was murdered, as the family had been tipped off that he had been murdered, and he was. Now, of course, they want the person or persons that did this and that were accomplices in this heinous crime to be caught and to be brought to justice. Now, one person was arrested and is on bail and will face charges sooner or later, but at this current moment, they are on bail, but they've had their passport taken off them. They have to report every 2 weeks to the Guardia Civil, to the police in Spain, and they're bailed. That doesn't mean to say they're exonerated. They're not, though they are. This person that was arrested, who someone who a Czech citizen. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to be saying any names for reasons that I'm going to explain. Anyway, sorry, excuse me. I've still got a little bit of a cough. So he was arrested and released, and he is, walking free at the moment. But the police have got an eye on him. His passport's been taken off him. He can't leave the country. He has to report to the police every 2 weeks, and soon he will be charged. But he's not thought to be responsible for the actual murder of John. But he's probably going to be charged for aiding and abetting, or I don't know what the actual charge will end up being. Accessory after the fact or whatever. It's also not really clear, is it? I don't think anyone knows for sure, or the Guardia haven't said officially, how was John found? I mean, he was found, and that's good. Was he found by the owner of the finca, where he was found? Or was it a tip-off? Were the Guardia searching for him? Was it an accidental find by dog walker? We just don't know. I certainly haven't heard officially how John was found, but it doesn't matter, he's been found and he will be going home. Now, I just want to read you a bit of this article that was in the Belfast Live, because since they've gone back to Spain, John George's family have had a meeting with the Northern Ireland authorities, and they're obviously keen to have the return of John. They want John back. Anyway, so apparently what has happened is the family solicitor has issued a statement yesterday evening and said, today we met with the PSNI together with the family to discuss the latest workings out of the Spanish authorities' investigation into the killing of Mr. George. We're pleased to report that assurances were given on maintaining levels of communication with the Spanish police to access key information on the current status of their investigation. Now, unfortunately, as we've talked about before, the Guardia do not give out any information. I hope they will give some information. This family's information starved. If it's your family especially, you want to know what's going on. Of course you do, and it must be hell. Not only losing your family member, but not getting to know, what's going on. I mean, they've got the language barrier for a start. This sort of procedural, the way things proceed in Spain is completely different from the UK. That'll be a problem. Anyway, the solicitor said the most important issue right now for the family is when their son's body will be returned to Belfast. So, it's still unclear as to when the autopsy will be concluded. And also, the police are saying that they would like to have a second post mortem report, which the family probably aren't very happy with. So, all those sort of unpleasant back and forth is going on the backdrop of the fact that their son has or their loved one has been murdered. So, having said that, he did say, the solicitor, that assurances given on inquiries are very welcome. We've learned that also that the police will assist as far as possible in the investigation of any links of suspects and persons of interest in Belfast. And in doing so, PSNI stress again, this is an extra jurisdictional investigation, so any steps of a proactive nature must, unless anything changes, be taken upon direction of the Spanish to the police. So this is a Spanish investigation. John was killed in Spain. As far as we know, anyone who may be implicated in his death lives in Spain or lived there at the time. So it's very... Stop. So, yeah, it's very difficult. To date, I know that the family, they've been so frustrated with the communication issues. Hopefully that can be resolved somehow with communication between the PSNI, the Guardia Civil, the solicitors, etc. Anyway, and they expect to meet up again in 2 weeks' time for an update on issues. Hopefully, John at least will be home by then, or at least he'll have a date for when he'll be sent home. So, of course, someone's was arrested and has been released on bail. Now, the other thing that I just want to say is, I do feel I've seen, a lot on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, lots of people naming who they think is a suspect or whatever. I just want to say, whether it may even be true, it's not a good idea to be banding around names. Just isn't. The Guardia won't be happy with that. And that will compromise, even when the person is finally held to account, that's going to compromise the situation. Any good defense lawyer will jump on top of that and use it as a reason, that they're not getting a safe conviction or they're not getting a fair trial. So I just, know how difficult it must be for the family, especially. But, people are talking about it who are not family. I don't really think they should be giving out names. If the Guardia put out a wanted bulletin for this person, or I keep checking. In fact, I'm going to check them now. I keep checking the Mas Buscados. If they put out an alert that they're looking for these people, then that is obviously fair enough. But really, I think it's just not only for the sake of, I'm not trying to protect anyone. What I'm trying to protect is a safe conviction when whoever it is finally convicted. I want them to have a safe conviction, not to their defense lawyers slippery, getting them off with it, because they're going to say, oh, well, my name's been all over social media or whatever. Same with the guy who's just been bailed, to be honest. He's got a case now already. He has been named on some places. You know, he's had his photo taken, and that, to be honest, has been on the Spanish news as well. So, you know, but that's different. If it's officially, I presume the Spanish media must have had permission to show it. I don't know, is the answer. I'm going to try and find out how it all works here, because to me it just seems, is this going to compromise this person's trial, or people, persons, whoever they are, one person, more than one person? Is it going to compromise their trial here in Spain? And is it going to lead to them getting released, even if they've got a very clever defence lawyer? Or will it not affect it because hopefully they've got enough forensic evidence, etc. anyway? But you know, the justice system in Spain, same as anywhere really, as far as fair trials are concerned, but I think especially in Spain, from experience I've had with other people, of going into court, even the lawyers, the solicitors, they have no idea what's going to happen. You know, I know you could say that about anywhere, but I think in a lot of places you do have an idea of what's going to happen because of precedents and things like that. You can normally set a vague idea of, oh, this is going to happen because of this or whatever. But I think in Spain it is complete, until you actually go in there, it's just so very unstable and arbitrary. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. It's caused me concern as I've seen it, and concern only because I want to see justice for John. And when justice for John happens, I don't want to see it compromised because of TikTokers or YouTubers or whatever going out there and actually naming people. I mean, really, you can't do that. Common sense would tell you that that can't be done, because whether the people that are being named are guilty or not, imagine if they weren't. You know, it just, and if they are, and then it comes to court and their defense lawyer brings all that up, is that going to help them escape justice? So, my plea would be to anyone, no names, let the police do it. You have to, this happened a bit when they were looking for John, and of course they were searching for him, they were desperate to find him, but they were searching in the wrong place. Sometimes you don't have all the information, and sometimes it's hard to trust the process, especially when it's not moving as quick as you think it should be, as it's your loved one that's involved in it. But really, the thing that you want the most of all now is surely justice for this man, that whoever killed him is held to justice, and the conviction when it happens is a safe conviction, and the person or people that have done it or had anything to do with this are going to go to prison for a long time. So that is what is the aim, and unfortunately it won't happen overnight. It's not happening overnight, and it must be so frustrating. I mean, for me, and I'm sure you feel like if you could get hold of them, you'd provide the justice yourself, but you can't. So you have to let the police do it, and it's very frustrating. It takes a long time. Justice can be slow in Spain, just like anywhere else. That doesn't mean to say it won't happen. And Interpol are involved, so wherever, if this person has gone somewhere else, like a lot of people are saying, the world's a small place. So this happened exactly the same with Anna Knežević, her husband. It felt like the police weren't doing anything, and then boom, there he was, arrested, and it was all going on behind the scenes. Cooperation of 4 different countries in that case. So it's very, very difficult, and especially for the family, and my heart goes out to them. They're living a nightmare even now. At least they know where John is. They know he's coming home, but they still don't know when. They haven't got all the answers. They want the answers, and I can completely understand that. But what I think everybody wants is for these people to come to justice, and for that justice to be served and for the conviction when it happens to be a safe conviction. Okay, thank you. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Until then, may your God go with you. Bye.